What up, my people? What up? What I'm going to do today is I want to unbox a camera that I just got. I saw these at NAB. I thought they were kind of clutch. They have a unique proposition in the market in comparison to some of the things out there. What's neat about this is it's a standalone camera that can connect, but it works wirelessly and it comes in with a 2K signal. That's this brand new VM33 by NearStream, and it is a wireless 2K camera, right? So what I wanted to do was unbox this guy and kind of give you guys some of the info as to what this camera can do. Now, I will be doing a full video on this, and yes, NearStream did send me this camera because they wanted me to do a full video on it. I met these guys at NAB. I had a chance to play with it. Mary Lou and Edith and I were just checking everything out, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look. So first things first, I want to talk a little bit about what the camera can do, and I think that goes a long way to understanding why I think this is a dope camera. So one of the things is it is standalone and it is plug and play, right? It does have a 10K optical zoom and it has an internal 6400 milliamp hour battery. Some of the other things that they did in here, which is kind of cool, is it has 8 microphone array. So it can pick up its own audio, like you don't really need to use an additional audio source. I'm thinking of this like if I'm doing an event and I want to stream a wide shot, or in my case, what I'm probably going to use it for is I have my product shot table right over here. I think in some cases what I'll do is just set this up and I'll put the products on the table and I can just kind of wirelessly bring them in. And then if I'm using a wireless mic, I can walk over there and talk about the product, still be connected here, and yeah, still work good. Depending on how good the mics are, I might just pull the audio directly from here. Again, it's just kind of cool. It has some other neat features built in. It has automatic gain controls for the microphones. It is app controlled. It does have face detection, and well, it's a 2K camera, so that's more than enough for what most people need. So let's, you know what? You didn't wait. If you're gonna do the unboxing, you gotta do it right. I almost messed up. Hold on. Let's do this again. We're gonna click here. Boom. Actually, let me do it properly. Here it is. Here's the wireless 2K camera in the box. We're just gonna take the sleeve off and we're gonna see what comes in the box. I love orange packaging. You know that. Always satisfying. I don't know what it is about unboxings that's so satisfying. It's like Christmas all over again. So we're going to take out this little piece of foamy here. Boom, boom, boom. And then here's a quick start guide. You're going to scan the QR code and it's going to need to download an app. So while we're digging through the box, let the app start downloading. I tend to do this stuff first because a lot of these items, if you don't put the app first, you're going to make it harder on yourself to get the camera set up. So a lot of times it's important to do that. And oftentimes from the time a product comes out and the time a product ships, there'll be firmware updates. So I think it's very important that you go ahead and grab the app right away. So let me just scroll down here and grab this app. Bango, bango. Boom, iOS. Yes, it's going to the old app store. I'm going to get the app. I need the Face ID. Boom, boom, double click. All right, cool. There it goes. It is downloading that app. I'll keep the instructions nearby. Here's a user manual for more detailed instructions. And it's not a book, it's a poster. Please, people, do more books instead of posters. Me and posters do not get along. They just don't. I'll keep that. Here's a warranty reg card, of course. It does come with a cable. And the cable does have a handy USB-A adapter. And I love when they put the USB-A adapter and that it is tethered, because that way you don't lose the adapter. You know what I mean? So if you need to travel with this, it goes. Now, you know me, one of my first checks when I check cables is to get out my little handy cable tester and see what kind of cable we're working with. So let's plug that in there and plug that in here. And it is USB 2-ish cable. So, normally I'll swap this out to a USB 3.1 Gen 2 cable, 240 watts, 40 gigabits per second, just because I know that it will let the data transfer faster. But if NearStream ships that cable, you do know that that cable works. So that's a good idea. And then let's go ahead and take that. Let's put these things away. I better keep the user manual out just in case we have ourselves an issue. And then I'll put this here. Oh, here. Let's undo this. First of all, package itself is pretty dope, right? Let's comparison this with something like the ZV-E1, which is what I use for my standard issue camera. So not much bigger. And if you're going to go with the lens and that, they're basically the same. This actually, the NearStream is a little smaller. So if I need to do something on the go, rather than taking my ZV-E1 and putting it in harm's way, this is better. And it has a built-in battery, right? It's a bigger battery than what you're going to get with a small mirrorless camera. It has built-in microphones, does have an SD card slot right there, a place to plug in the USB-C, a place to plug in a microphone or a lavalier, or maybe you want to connect it to a soundboard and pipe music in. And I'm assuming that these are both microphones there. On the bottom, there's a 1/4-20 so that you can tripod it. And here's where this guy is going to shine above all others. It has a massive lens. Okay, so one of the things that you run into when you work with cameras with smaller lenses, like the one from Logitech, you won't get as much light. And without getting as much light, then you don't get decent low light performance. So let's go ahead and power this baby up. I will use the supplied cable for this particular instance, just because I know it will work. And then I plug it in. I like the fact that it has a battery. I like the fact that it's self-contained. So that is a plus in my book. Let's see. It is lighting up. You can see the battery is about 50% charged at this moment in time. So let me go ahead and check out the app. Boom, boom. Normally what happens when you get one of these guys and you set it up, it's going to ask you to do some firmware updates. Yes, I have a NearStream camera. First step, turn it on, connect it to the Wi-Fi. All right. And yes, Kevin, remember to hit that like button. So I'm going to power it on. I'm going to attempt to power it on. Maybe it's just a single press. Here, let me go to next. While using the app, would like to use Bluetooth, and it is searching. I'm going to unplug the charging cable for a second and see if that works. Yeah, I like the self-contained battery because it definitely means one less thing to think about when you're doing it. Okay, so there it is. It's powered on. You might not be able to see that, but there's a wee blue light. There it is. Here, I'll go like that. There's a wee blue light right there that turned on, and the phone is searching for it. I'm going to plug it back in because I want to get a good charge on the battery. Sometimes when you first set these things up, it's better to have power so that the thing can do what it needs to do. All right. It asked me if I want to set this one up. It tells me the battery is 72% full. Do I have Wi-Fi? I'm going to say yes. For optimal performance, keep each camera, that means we can do multiples, within 10 feet or 30 meters of your access point. My access point is way further than that, but it is an industrial access point. Let me hide this password. Let that go. Boom, boom. Say done. So now what it's doing, when these things with this, let me explain the setup real quick. When you have a camera or a device that makes you connect to your phone with the Bluetooth LE first, and then tell you to select the Wi-Fi, what it's basically doing is writing that Wi-Fi information into the device. So now you have this device and you can take it on the road. Why this is cool, a lot of times when I'm travel, I have two phones, one for the plug and one for the load. So for instance, I could take that other phone over there and connect it to its Wi-Fi by means of tethering, and I could take this guy out and basically stream from outside, right? Anywhere, if you have a pocket Wi-Fi or somewhere where you can get decent outside connections, a lot of cities have city Wi-Fi. A lot of cities are getting citywide fiber. You can legit take this camera, and if you have the ability to, say, connect it to your phone first and then connect that phone to that so it passes the Wi-Fi information, you will be able to stream with this guy out and about, which is kind of cool. Honestly, I just think that's dope. Okay, so now we're in here. We're going to say connect, and it tells me that there is a new firmware available. I always rock the firmware because normally that means that they've gone at some point in time and made some decent improvements upon this. So we're going to give that a chance to let the firmware do its thing. All right, let me answer this real quick. All right, it looks like the firmware is going through. It's about 98% done, and now it is uploading the firmware to the camera. The light on the front has turned green while it's doing this. And again, thanks to my lighting setup in here, it's a little hard to see. What I'm going to do to get this off the ground is I'm going to use my car suction cup as a temporary tripod. So let's tripod this baby. Because at least I have some weight and I can tilt it up and point it to my face. There we go. There we go. So now it's up off the ground. And then if I give this a wee tilt, you can see it's rebooting right now. The blue light just came on. Out in the boat. It's super, super dope. Definitely going to be... with this lens, your low light capabilities is going to be far better than most things that you could do with a mobile phone or other small camera or action camera of something of that nature. And this is something that you're going to lop off and tripod. So let's say we're doing a baptismal where they're going to dunk somebody in an actual river, right? You'd be able to put this on a tripod, sandbag that tripod, connect it to your phone, and stream it to Mima who can't come to the beach. You know what I mean? So it's going to be good for stuff like that. All right, it is blinking. It looks like the firmware is upgrading. It is almost done. This is exciting. This is very exciting. Firmware is upgrading. All right, it is almost done. I see blinking happening on the camera. That means action is happening. It just turned blue, so it rebooted again. Again, some of the key features for this guy is wireless multicam live streaming. So you can plug a couple of these together and go to town. It has 10x optical zoom. Nothing a tiny camera is going to do for you. It has 4x digital zoom. 4x digital zoom. I'll say it again for the people in the back. It has 4x digital zoom. So 10x optical is crazy. Then you add another 4x digital on top of that. You have 8 microphone array. So if you're doing this in the back of a crowd and say you're trying to basically give that I'm in the crowd experience to a viewer, it's going to be able to swing that. And then it has AI-powered noise cancellation or automatic gain control, which is super amazing for this because that means as you're in a place that's loud and soft, it will know what to do with all of those noises. And with a 6,400 milliamp hour battery, you're going to get 8 hours of use. That, my friends, is psycho. That is absolutely psycho. Okay, the firmware is done. Let's connect to the camera again. Continue. Oh, you can see my face. You can see my face. All right. Let me line them up to the old map here. And let's see. If I have it connected the way I do, if I click here, boom, ooh, bang, that is good. That is good. So now, of course, let me see if I can get my phone to show up so that way I can show you the app as it's doing its thing. You know what I mean? That might give us an opportunity to show the phone doing its thing. So first thing I want to do is drag this guy here, and then I want to hit a Command-Shift blank here. I'm going to drag the 15 Pro Max there, set it to tall. Oh, la, 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 la. This is cool. This is cool. So let's embiggen this, and then click on that bad boy. Boom, zoom it out just a wee bit so y'all can see what's cracking, what's popping. All right, so this is the VM33 Live, and this way, what you're going to be able to do is sort of see how we set this up. Okay, so I have the ability to go live from here if I wasn't, connected to Ecamm like this. It is controlled. Let's go over here to settings, and I have some things I can do as far as transitions. I believe this is for when you have multiple cameras connected. It will transition between cameras as you go about. If you can come in here and set the input quality. So if I wanted to rock 2K, I could do that. Boom, I hit 4K by accident. I meant to hit 2K. My bad, 1440p. So I could do that. And we'll see that right now, through this particular cable, it is not liking that, so I'll put that back. And again, this is why I normally will change this cable to something a little bit more capable. But it also could be just my Wi-Fi because I'm also streaming at the same time. So this looks pretty doable. All right. So I am currently at 1080p high. That looks really good. Let's just check out 1080p medium. You know what I see? See, here's where people get themselves in trouble. There is not a lot of difference between 2400 kilobits per second and 3072 kilobits per second. And the average person would go automatically and try to do the highest one. And look, I'm going to drop it to 720, and you're probably not going to see much of difference for this particular picture. Look, this is 720. And you probably don't see much of a difference at all for a talking head. And so what happens is people get themselves psyched out and gassed up because they are misconstruing, what's the word I'm looking for? You're misconstruing, oh my God, I can't believe I just lost the word. Bit rate. You're misconstruing bit rate and resolution. For this particular case, I'm not zooming in, so the resolution is not going to matter. Now, if I'm in a situation where I need to zoom in close and zoom out, like that, I'm going to go for the slightly higher res. So don't get that twisted. This is 720, only pushing 1228 kilobits per second, and this image is sweet, right? So I'm going to go put it back at 1080 just so you can see. But here, let's do ourselves a test. Let's go all the way down to 360. Look at that. It looks good at 360, son. I'm just telling you, people be tripping. I need to do 1080 60. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're not video gaming. Even at 360, this is a decent picture. And for somebody like my buddy Jim, who I just saw roll into the chat, being able to do an event, pop 3 of these up at the back of the room and give 3 different stage angles while you also have run around person with an FX6 or, something like this Sony wired up with an Axoon. Jim is a network specialist, so his Wi-Fi is going to be on point. You could have 3 roaming cameras running around with the Axoon or Hollyland going back to the switch, and you can have 3 of these posted up around the audience, getting different audience angles because you want to see, you know, the singer's mama when they hit that high note, and then you want to cut to the audience, or you want to cut to mom and dad when the bride is, you know, giving the vows. You just post this up in front of them and hide it in some flowers, and nobody will even see it. And I'm telling you, this video quality is kind of pretty right there. Okay, so we can go to our video source latency. I have it set for low latency, but let's just suppose that my Wi-Fi is good today, and we'll put low latency and see if that does any better. Oh, yeah, I'm looking at my lights. My lights are hanging tough. That's cool. You have auto director. So again, if you have multiple cameras, you can have it jump between scenes automatically. And we don't really need to worry about anti-flicker because we're in all LED lights. So let's come over here and press on the settings, and let's do some image adjusting. Okay, now this is cool. I have my autofocus set up right here. I normally never use auto exposure. I tend to expose myself. Let's see. That sounded super dumb what I just said. That's overexposed. What I just said, I tend to expose myself, was super dumb. I might want to do this with an iPad because my fingers are a little bit chunky. So 60 is too high. I think 56 is the answer. Yeah, 56 is the answer. Okay. Again, I normally don't do my auto white balance. I know my white balance in here is 55. But right now, I guess with shadowing, it's not working. Sometimes these numbers don't really match, so you can put it there. It does have an HDR feature. I don't know if Ecamm will take this, but there's HDR that's oversaturated to me. I won't use HDR. But the HDR will give me more depth in the back. So what I could do is come in here and take the saturation down myself. I do normally desat these things. I don't like them oversaturated. These are kind of sort of made for beauty streamers, and they like saturated. I don't like saturated. All right, so that looks pretty good. And if I wanted to flip the bird, I could do that. And if I wanted to mirror the camera, I can do that. Flip back. Go back. Mary, go back. There you go. Then I could flip the camera this way if I wish. So the controls are pretty easy and straightforward. Again, there's some filters that you can do in here. Like if you wanted to soften the light up just a wee bit, you can do that. No. Me don't like that. I'm old. I deal with it. It's not necessary. Some people are going to like that stuff. That is not me. I'll leave it at linear, how it was. But again, super easy that you can get in here. You have some volume adjustments for the mic right there. And then, yeah, we're going to leave that alone. Let's set it back to defaults for a second. And then I'm just going to desaturate it. That's about right. Now, normally, I got this way too close. It wouldn't be that close to my face. I would probably, I'm going to unplug the wire and see what happens. And give me a second to plug it to see if I can catch it. Oh, no, it's not on the same Wi-Fi. So, yeah, that particular case was using the wire from my computer. I do still see it in my phone, as you can see. However, let me use a longer wire and see if it shows up. So the USB direct to Ecamm does work. I think if I wanted to connect this to Ecamm wirelessly, what I would need to do is, let me do this. In order to connect it wirelessly, what I probably would need to do is get the IP address and then go and pull it that way, right? So let me close these settings and let me see if I can find out what the IP address is so I can see if I can load it that way. About bingo bango. I am because it's a Wi-Fi camera, right? So I'm pretty sure it does have the IP address in this app somewhere. Here we go, device settings. There's NDI mode. I would just turn that on, and then that would give me access to it via NDI. So let's do that real quick. I'm just checking to see what all's going on in here. This looks good. There's no storage card in there. So let me see while wired webcam mode is on. Okay, so in order to do NDI mode, I need to unplug it. Let's do that. And then let the camera think. And then I'll flick on NDI mode. Okay, it's blinking. Give it a chance to reconnect to the phone. All right, it looks like it's connected to the phone. Now I don't think it's proprietary NDI. I think it is standard issue NDI. What? Enable that. Let's do that. Okay, so turn that off, turn that on. Oh, wait. You know what I should do? I should put this cable in so you guys can see. Let's see. iPhone, do your thing. Come back wherever you are. So put that there. Drop the iPhone there. Unembiggen that. There we go. Now, so what I did was I turned off the wired webcam mode. That's how I was doing it prior. And then I'd have to turn this on. But it's not letting me turn it on, which is weird. So what I think I'm going to do is reboot the camera, because maybe that's what specifies, you know, when it's wired and not wired. So the app is going to go dumb for a second. But yeah, I am going to end up making a full video to talk about this. I'm going to test it outside. I'm going to test it in different conditions. And I'm really curious to see if I can make it stream like using my other phone. There's no signal here in the basement. So it'd be real curious to see if this thing would totally just pull on another phone. Like, that would be bananas. That would be absolutely bananas. I'm going to restart the app here for a second. It looks like it's there. Let's connect. It is searching. Connect. Dude, you know what would be crazy? I have to remember to test out. Because if I have USB-C phone, if I could directly connect it to a phone with a USB-C cable, that would also be bananas. Why are you not working? Okay, we're good. We're connected. All right, so now I'm gonna click on this camera, go to device settings, NDI mode on, bingo, and then bingo. That's good, that's good. Okay, so now what I would do is come here and select the camera. Ooh, that was big. That was big-headed. So, man, NDI is pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, so what I'm going to do real quick, you're not going to hear me talk. I'm going to pick this camera up, and I'm going to put it in studio mode. Yo, this is kind of crazy. Look at that. That's good. Kevin, you're right. Kevin, you're absolutely right. If I see, there's my little shooting section. Oh, I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. Yo, this is actually pretty good. So Kevin, you're right. Let me get the little tripod. Kevin is telling you the facts. I have this little tripod here. I'm gonna tripod it up and set it up as a product shot camera and see what happens. So let's put this on. Man, I can't. Anybody ready for Prime Day tomorrow? Prime Day is what I call credit card damage day. This is actually pretty cool. You can control it with an iPad because it does use an iOS app. Here, I'm gonna switch to these mics for a second if they will show up. Let me test. 1 2 1 2. All right, so right now I don't know what this sounds like because I have headphones not, but I'm using the microphones that are built into this little Wii camera here. So that way you're able to hear me as I move about the country. So here's a lightweight wireless camera set up, and then I'm just going to shrink this down, put this here. So there's my little setup. My floor is crooked, as you can see. I can go to my camera on my phone here, and I am going to adjust this exposure a wee bit. Put it back on. See, that's autofocus, auto exposure. Let's try HDR over NDI. Oh, that's way too, ooh, that's too much. Too much, don't do that. Let's take it back out. Now, this is a curiosity. Let me see. Let me entertain you. Hold on one second, people. We're gonna take a curious case of Benjamin Buttons. You guys move. And let's see how good it do. Oh yeah, the color repo is freaking pretty phenomenal. I just have it overblown. So all I really need to do is turn this down. Oh yeah, that's good. The color repo is actually pretty phenomenal. I was just giving it too much light. And so because of the type of sensor, maybe these are freaking it out. So I'll just turn these off. Well, just tuck it in the drawer for a second. Yeah, that's better. That is better. It is tiny mics, but it sounds pretty good for what it is. Let me crank that just a little bit. Crank that Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy, tell him, how about my bae? Yo, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. So let's try something else. Let me put this here. Sorry for the dizziness. And then tilt it back. I have a little light right here in my face. How low can you go? Death row, what a brother know. All right, so yeah, not bad. See, this is why I don't like auto exposure, because like as soon as I turn my head, the exposure does something, and that doesn't make me happy. But that's just normal for any camera. Even if I was to bust out this like $1,700 Fuji, me changing my head like that with all the colors and stuff I got going on, that's going to freak out auto exposure because the lights back here start throwing it off. This is why I tend to not use auto exposure. So let me turn that off and then expose to here. Nope. One thing that I wish it would do is I'm going to tell them this, when you come out of auto exposure, stay at the current exposure. So that way you could do an auto and then turn it off and everything else would just be kind of in that ballpark. So yeah, this is good. So if I wanted to have a serious conversation with you from anywhere in the studio, I would do something like this. And unfortunately, rather than using the beam arrays, I'll use something else. But this would give me a good opportunity to come over here and talk to you guys, say not always in my setup. You know what I mean? Maybe some days I want to talk to you about something and maybe I want to give you a hands-on. You know, maybe I want to not be at the desk and I want to be able to take my camera and then like, you know, fire it up. And then let me show you how I use the strap in my arm like that for stability. You know what I mean? So something a little different than what we normally do, and I can come over here and fire off a couple shots and then connect it to the computer and come back. So yeah, this is actually pretty saucy. It is actually pretty saucy. Yo, me and these guys are going to have some fun. So I'm going to go back over there for a second. And then in the meantime, I'm going to give you guys a commercial for Doc Pops. Commercial! Commercial! This ball head does not spin. So we're at the mercy of that. It does have optical zoom and stuff like that. I didn't see the zooming trick. Let me mess with that real quick. Close that. Oh, why was it muted? Did I accidentally mute the microphones? Oh no, that's so I can hear it. Never mind. Don't listen to me. He's dumb. I have input output sound controls on the app here. I have storage information. I don't quite see how to work the zoom, but you know, I'll read a manual. I'll get it figured out. Anyway, I think this is pretty cool. Let me come back to my desk. Ooh. All right. So yes, for what it is, this is actually pretty dope. I'm gonna take it outside. Dang, the sun just went down. the sunlight just went down. Oh, let me turn this off. Sorry, I'm making trouble. Bingo. Yeah, for what it is, it's pretty amazing. You can take it out the street. You can do that thing. I'll read up on it. I'll play around with it, and I'll give it a full review. I just wanted to do a quick unboxing setup because I like how easy it is to set up. It didn't take any, rocket science or whatever. I like the fact that you can easily just connect it to your phone and go to town. Yeah, and then there's some things I would like to see in the app. I love apps where they let me actually take a picture of the white balance card and get the correct white balance. None of the small cameras do that yet. It's something that's normal to these kind of cameras, and none of the small cameras do that. And that would be the one thing that will increase their picture quality automatically. But yeah, it doesn't weigh much. It is self-contained. I think it's pretty saucy. I personally think it's pretty saucy. So we'll see as I get around to playing with it. And I don't know. Depending on how much space I have in the suitcase, it might take a trip to Japan because it'll be super cool to catch some nature shots and just record some content, while I'm out and about. So pretty cool stuff. Thank you guys for checking it out. And here's why I'm so interested in these cameras lately. Because what is it? I want to say $350 a pop. Prime Day's tomorrow. Who knows what it comes out to? If I was building my studio again, I would definitely be using 3 smaller cameras like this instead of the Sony. Yes, this will always have a slightly better picture quality, but these are so good. Most people aren't going to notice. We all came from looking at the potato cam built into our computer. This maybe diffusion sheet wrapped on the front. You can just do some things. So I seriously say, if I was going to rebuild my studio, instead of putting so much money, that would be a thing. It does work as a wired USB webcam, so no, that part was automatic out of the box. It's kind of interesting. I think we're in a good spot. Where this thing is going, where these cameras are going, they're only going to get better. They're only going to get better. And at least when you swap these out, cameras of this ilk, you're looking at $350 a pop. You're not looking at, dropping $2,200 on an A7 or $2,400 on an A7R. So I think it does have a time and place, and it's a pretty dope camera. So I'll dive in deeper and do some review on it, but I can't wait to check it out and see what all it can do. But I appreciate y'all for checking out this unboxing. Don't forget, tomorrow we will be live. Mary Lou and I will be doing our thing. And if you haven't already, go and check out some Doc Pops. You know what I mean? Boom. They're available. They're on the website, docpops.com. So go get some. Enjoy yourself. You know what it is. Mahalo.
City of mine, how I love the city of mine. It never gets me down.